Total Perspective Radio. Today we have a lovely guest. We have Holly here with us.
Hey, Miss Holly.
Miss Holly.
Hey.
She's actually one of the co-founders of Pine to Palm, correct? That's the...
That's a piece of it. It's called The Good Land Beyond.
The Good Land Beyond. Got it.
Good Land Beyond.
Nice. So, how'd you get started on your travel blog?
Yeah, so it's actually my friend and I started it. We were friends. We've been friends for about 7, almost 8 years now. We've traveled all over together. She's from Germany, and I'm from here in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
She was a foreign exchange student my senior year in high school. We just clicked immediately, and every year since we've been just traveling. Whether I go there, she comes here.
That's cool. Real friends.
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
Real friends.
Like more than a pen pal.
We gotta come see you.
Yeah.
Never come, but you real.
You
Right,
actually
be flying out there.
Yeah.
A lot of money, but it's cool. You know, human
How long is that
connection.
flight?
Ooh.
A
10
day
hours?
or two? Ooh, no, I'm good.
Yeah, man.
You gotta fly first class, lay down in the bed, right?
I'll take the peanuts in the back.
Yeah,
Right,
I feel
for
you.
real.
They free.
So what do you like most about traveling?
I think what's important, and I read this once, it's not about being a tourist, it's about being a friend. And I think that's what's important. Spending time in a place rather than just trying to hit every big city, which most people do, which there's nothing wrong with that. I like spending a little extra time there and just kind of getting to know like the little hole in the wall places. You know, where's the best coffee shop? Where can I get the best beer? So
what do you post on your blog? Is everything about what you travel? Is there a specific thing you look for when you travel?
I like to do tips. I don't make that much money, so I like the budget traveling.
Nice.
So I try to make it so other people can travel too, because I think it's so important to experience different cultures. I love eating, so I'm always throw a food place in there.
Nice.
But yeah, I guess that's what we talk about. We also go into activism a lot and how tourism directly imprints different communities around the world and the footprints that they leave behind.
Nice. So what are some of the places that you've traveled to?
Wow.
Everywhere, huh?
Everywhere, huh?
Right, she's just like, girl,
Wow.
I got a map. You just circle all the places you've been to.
Where do I start?
Well, I've done a lot of national parks here. I'm a huge nature fan, so in the States, a lot of national parks. And that's something that my parents raised me going to. So
Nice.
Definitely big supporter of that. And I've done a lot of Europe. I studied over there for a while, so I've traveled a lot of it over there. And then in a few weeks, I'm going to South America. So I'm going to branch out and try to go somewhere new.
How long are you going to be there for?
2 weeks, and I'm going to backpack Patagonia.
Okay.
You're really doing it up.
Hell yeah, backpack. So how do
Wow.
you like deal with language barriers?
So it's a good question. I'm a Pisces. I'm going to go into it. I'm a Pisces.
Okay.
And I think I'm very adaptable. So what I do is I'm quiet. I think it is so important to listen, to sit back and observe your surroundings. And I think it's easy to blend when you do that. I think once you understand a culture and community, or at least try to, even if you don't fully understand it, it's pretty easy to dive in. Luckily, my friend that I was talking about earlier that I started the blog with, she is trilingual. So she is fluent in Spanish, German, and English.
Oh, wow.
And then a little bit of French and a little bit of Swedish.
So wherever y'all go, y'all can come.
Y'all good.
Yeah, she does it.
Right. Yeah, for real.
What'd she say?
Well, hey, tell her we want that. Okay.
Right. Cool. Right. That's exactly what we need.
Wow, that's so cool. So cool.
Wow.
Well, what would you say are like some of the bad elements of traveling? Like, to me, I be getting frustrated, so the language barrier is gonna bother me. Like, God damn it, you don't know what I'm trying to say. You know, that's just me though. I need to work on that.
Well, I just did this big trek over the summer. I did the Eurorail. You know, when you travel by train through a whole bunch of different
I heard of that.
countries. That was frustrating. It was a lot of different languages, really, really fast, and I was doing all public transportation.
Damn.
So to try to speak to people or like try to understand what bus I'm trying to get on when I don't speak the language was extremely difficult, and that was very frustrating.
Man.
But we did it. We made it to all our destinations on time. So
That's
somebody
good.
was watching over us.
Yeah.
So the meat. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. What was you gonna say?
I was just gonna get to the meat of the interview.
Yeah, that's how I'm like. Whew,
I want to know how all of this came about from you traveling, like the whole thing with your activism. Just go ahead and
yeah,
just
like
dive
now we're
in.
gonna switch the wheel
just-
to go. Whew, we're gonna get down that serious
Yeah,
road.
We can get real heavy.
Yeah,
But I think it's important too.
of course.
So we started this travel blog, The Good Land Beyond. That actually comes from a Bible verse. Let me go and see the good land beyond. And
Amen.
It started out as a travel blog, like I said. My friend and I, we travel so much together, and it's really nice to have that person to fall on, you know, and support you through that journey. However, she is from Germany, and their education system is a little different than ours.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a really good way.
Good.
I think so.
That's what's up.
It's really intense. So, you know, I graduated a few years ago, and we're the same age, and she's still in school. And it all ties in because, like, I love writing and I love traveling, and that was it for me. That was like, this is my platform. For her, she was like, you know, I'm studying tourism, and I need to write a thesis paper. So what I want to look into is how tourism directly affects human trafficking.
Yeah.
And so we're like, well, the good lands and what's beyond that. And so we want to dive into different type of issues, whether that was going to be, you know, sustainability or, you know, animal activism. And what we did land on was human trafficking, ultimately. And it's been a journey. We launched in October. I've worked with a few different nonprofits, volunteering, and talking to a lot of people. And it's hard. It's not an easy conversation to have all the time. But it's important. Yeah.
Wow. So as far as like what exactly is human trafficking, when you dive into the actual definition, like what is that?
Yeah. So I mean, at the basis, it's slavery. It is. But the technical definition for like legality purposes is the recruitment and harboring of a person or people for the purposes of exploiting, and then that trafficker gets revenues from that. So, and they pry on the vulnerable. And in my opinion, none of it's cool, but that is really, really not okay.
Right. So how does it usually happen? Basically, like we can jump off the vulnerability.
Yeah, because I've seen Taken, but
that's what I was.
But that's a movie.
That. You know, that's like, a movie. So does it really happen that way where
like
somebody
really
can
get tourists like that?
Right, like they grab tourists, or they think they're gonna go to a party, or they think they're going out with somebody cool, and then boom, they're about to drug you.
Exactly. Well, I mean,
not funny, but
yeah.
Shit.
Well, that was my first.
But that's the only way we learned about it because they made that movie. So, you know?
Yeah, same. I had no idea. When my friend presented this topic of human trafficking, I was like, yeah, it happens. But how often?
Right.
It doesn't happen in America.
Right.
Like, you know, this is the 21st century. We're past this.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
we're not. I just read today there's 24.9 million people as of 2017 in human trafficking. And that is bigger than the population of Australia.
Wow.
Which is insane. And kind of like how people get into it. And to speak off Taken, I mean, she was vulnerable. She didn't speak the language, and she didn't know where she was going. So vulnerability, I think, is the basis of how people get into it. But that goes into a lot of different routes, as in some people are vulnerable because of poverty or financial situations.
Right.
They're looking for a job, and they read this fake ad, and they get sucked into this whole realm that they didn't even intend to. And that's the thing with human trafficking is it's not only... doesn't only affect females, it also affects males. However, 71% of those 24.9 million people are female.
Wow.
So
human trafficking doesn't necessarily mean sex trafficking.
Exactly. Yeah.
It can be like slavery, like, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's labor and sex. It's just the idea of exploiting an individual for money that they don't even receive. Their trafficker receives. But yeah, fake job ads are a huge one. Kidnapping is one. But one of the biggest ones is their family members selling them out.
Wow. That's some shit.
Right, that's crazy.
That's crazy. For real.
So I think that goes into like the trust factor. Most people feel like they can trust their mom or their dad or their uncle or their brother or sister or even friends. And then they're sold out. And I think that's awful.
Yeah.
So how does your foundation shine a light on it? Well, not even shine, but do you guys have like solutions that you guys are working towards or things that you're doing to help or
more awareness?
Just causing awareness to it?
Yeah, I think we're just trying to put a voice behind it. I think the first step to a solution is bringing a voice. I think most of these people, their identity has been stripped. You know, they don't have a name for themselves. They're no longer a story. They're an item that could be sold. So I think just putting even one person in the light is improving the world and helping them to that restoration, that journey of restoration.
Right. So like, have you seen anything like firsthand? Have you like seen those type of ads out in your travels? You know what I mean? Like, have you witnessed anything? Not saying like you've seen somebody get snatched up, but I'm just saying like, you know, has your friend like pointed out like, yo, this is the type of crazy looking job scout that you're gonna find. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen that type of stuff?
I haven't seen anything completely firsthand. I've been in, Italy and on the corners, and I've seen prostitutes, and it makes you wonder how they got there.
Yeah,
I went to Amsterdam, and I went to the red light district, and I cannot tell you how.
What's the red light district?
Girl,
We
what?
don't know.
So the red light district is a whole street of windows and women sitting in them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
yeah, and they're all ages. Just to kind of give you a background, the average age to get into the sex part of human trafficking is 12 to 14.
Wow.
So, I mean, you're seeing all ages. I mean, you won't see it. I hope you wouldn't see an underage in the red light because that's legal there, which is a whole another story.
Yeah, Amsterdam is an interesting place.
It is. And you could tell, like, some of those women, they're there for the money.
Right.
But some of them probably didn't choose to be there. And they're sitting there behind these windows while tourists go by and take pictures, and they're just, texting. And it's just like, that's their life, to sit in this box to be looked at the whole time. And bought.
Wow.
Like, you see men go up, and then they draw a curtain, and they close the door, and they lock it. And you're watching it. You're just walking down the street, like, as if you're looking into a Taco Bell. It's very normal.
Wow. You've been there. You seen this?
I've seen it.
Wow. Wow.
That's wild. That's heavy.
My mind's blown right
My
now.
mind is blown too. So as far as like in America, like what's a way to like police that, or like how can we stop that in our areas, or is it even popular in America like that?
Yeah, so
You did say
the FBI has 13 biggest hubs in America, and 3 of them are in California alone. San Francisco, San Diego, and Los Angeles.
Jeez.
So it is happening before our eyes, and I don't know if people turn their blind eye to it, or we just really don't know. Maybe it's just a normal way of life for us now, and we don't even realize it. But what I'd like to think is that this leaves room for change and improvement.
Right.
There is a better tomorrow, and as long as we put a voice behind all these people who have been silenced, there's so much hope for them.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really think is important today is this whole Me Too movement and all these sexual assault cases coming out, because it's just going to, or what I hope is it propels over into this industry as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, that's heavy. That is heavy.
There are a lot of cool local organizations that I've been working with.
Oh, nice.
One I just talked to 2 days ago. It's called Freedom in Fashion. They're actually right here in LA. They do fashion shows, and they do mentorship programs for youth that have either been homeless or have been involved in human trafficking. And they provide classes of fashion, and it just talks about body image and what the power of choice can really do for you, and who you are through your style and how you want to present yourself every day. So
It's really nice.
it doesn't always have to be so heavy. There's always that room for people who truly care and are going that extra mile to improve lives. And I that shows humanity to me. I'm like, wow, there are really good people out in this world.
People actually do care.
Exactly.
Man, especially living in the America we live in right now.
Right.
Like
These Trump days.
Yeah, during these Trump days, like it's just wow. Like I just feel like human trafficking isn't brought up just on like a government standpoint, or like is it something that we could stop, or is it like any type of
like I feel like that's not an issue they bring up
like it's
at all.
Yeah, they bring up schools, and they bring
education,
up
taxes, raising taxes, lowering taxes.
Yeah,
so they don't ever talk about human trafficking.
Right.
That's exactly how I viewed it. Like when my friend presented to me, I'm like, this doesn't happen. This is like a Taken movie. Like,
Yeah,
that is not
right,
real.
Right. We literally watched that shit. And it's not trying to say it's entertaining, but
they that's how they present.
That's how they printed,
and they made 3 of them.
Right. Right.
Exactly. And I mean, you can go into it both ways, but I think it is good that they put, that out there for people to kind of understand, like, this is what it is, and this is an introduction to it. Why the government doesn't speak about it, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they should.
Right.
What I just read is 2017, trafficker's revenue about $150 billion, and $99 billion are straight through sex exploitation. So all this money is going into it. So I don't really know why it's not talked about.
What? Because they low-key might be making a cut off that, like they did slavery. But,
They probably got like little houses and shit that they fund.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, because that's how crack got here. So
Wow.
That's very interesting that you say that, though.
That is interesting that you say that.
This is really making me think right now. Like,
I feel like a lot of hands going. I mean, it's an expensive hobby to have.
right.
Right. Right.
that don't sound like I could just start exploiting people like me myself. I need some help, you know?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, no.
And I think that's like one thing that goes into it is that, and not all the time. I mean, there's a lot of platforms for it, but music sometimes promotes it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that maybe we should take a different standpoint on that. And not all music, obviously. Like, there's still really good music, and they're talking about other things, but sometimes that gives them the okay. But if you are interested in looking into it, Netflix has amazing documentaries that I personally cannot finish more than 5 minutes of, but it really speaks to it a lot. There's one guy, he like was the first one to speak on the film, and he was like some pimp daddy or whatever he called himself. Somebody like the documentary person, he was like, why don't go into the drug industry? Like, if you're gonna do anything, like, why not do drugs? And he was like, well, drugs are one-time use. Women, you can recycle.
Wow.
And he laughed with his like watch and all that stuff. So I'm like, they're just a paycheck to you. That is all it is. So
shit.
I don't even
Well, we're
know
gonna
what to say.
let's like switch it back to the travel. What are like some advice that you would give to like first time travelers if they're going out of the country? Like, what would you say to them to like look out for stuff like that? Like, what would you say for what somebody like me?
I think that like when you're traveling, it's just about being open-minded, but also being very aware of your surroundings.
Right. Yeah.
Until you're comfortable in the situation or a location, just be aware. Like that's it at the end of the day. That's why I don't like to speak first. I like to make sure that I walk and just kind of observe.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Like, can I get drunk?
Yeah.
Am I gonna be safe?
Right.
Yeah.
Am I gonna be safe?
Man,
that's a good point.
that is a good point.
Ooh, you just scared me, girl.
Yeah, you scared me, Holly, for real.
Damn.
The world is still a beautiful place, though.
Yeah, it
and I
is.
encourage
It is.
people to get
But
out.
now I see your name. Say the name of the blog one more time.
It's called The Good Land Beyond.
The Good Land Beyond.
Exactly.
That's what the Good Land Beyond.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That really is.
But anyway, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah.
We
you're on
are
there.
on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram.
Okay, Pinterest. You got what's your board? You got different boards. I love Pinterest.
Yeah. We're working on it. We're new, so
Okay.
we'll get there.
What are your handles? What are the names for each of them?
Well, we're just under The Good Land Beyond, but
For
like
everything.
each like board, different things, travel.
The Good Land Beyond.
The Good
Yeah.
Land Beyond.
Make sure y'all follow up.
Yeah, for real. And join the activism, bring awareness. And yeah, thank you so much, Holly.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.